some noise for Orange Juice and a Blunt.
Whoreson, the story of a ghetto pimp. It's $9 an hour, $90 in 10 hours. I stepped back from her. Now, bitch, do you think you can get my trap money together without causing me to kill you? She mumbled something in agreement. Taking her by the arm, I led her to Hastings Street. I stuck so close to her on the track that she didn't have the time to try to run away. While she stood in a doorway hustling, I'd stand across the street and watch her. When she caught a trick, I'd follow them into the trick house and wait until she finished. After the trick left, she would come out of the bedroom and give me the money before going into the bathroom and washing up. That night, after she had finished catching dates, I knew she was hooked. Fatima had taken a whoring like a fish takes to water. Because of my concern for Jessie, I pulled Fatima up from the track before midnight. Earlier in the evening, I'd given a girl I knew from school $5 to go to Jessie and stay with her until I got home. Just like a good whore, Fatima complained that the tricks had just started to ride good, so she wasn't ready to go in. The money she had made was in the 80s, without counting the 5 I'd given away. We stopped in a Greasy Spoon restaurant and ordered 2 dinners to go. While waiting on our order, Fatima walked over to the jukebox. Loud laughter caused me to glance around and see a tall, brown-skinned stud with a thick mustache getting up from a booth occupied by the 2 whores who had been coming to see Jessie. I felt like exploding on top of both of them, but I curbed my anger. Walking over to the table, I stared down on them. They stared up at me in mock surprise. "Hi, Whoreson. I see you done got chose," one of them said, before they both broke out in laughter. It was easy to see that they were high off weed or coke. They were not aware of the deadliness welling up inside me. I had to turn away, or I would have killed one of them. My glance went to Fatima. She was trying to pry their pimp's hand loose from my arm. A blinding rage consumed me. My control slipped completely away. Grabbing a pop bottle off a couple's table, I rushed at the tall man's back. He must have heard me coming, because he dropped her arm and turned quickly. With the full swing of my arm, I caught him square in the face. If I hadn't caught him by surprise, he probably would have killed me. He was full grown, while I was only 16. The surprise attack plus the bottle equalized the fight. I didn't give him any air. He fell back against the jukebox with his arms outstretched. I kicked him viciously between the legs. He almost turned green. As he fell forward, I grabbed a handful of processed hair with my left hand and burst the bottle with my next swing in his face. Blood and teeth spattered the floor. A warning scream from Fatima caused me to whirl around. Both of his whores were charging, and they meant business. The first one had a knife, while the second one had a bottle. Fatima tripped the first one when she rushed past to get to me. I stepped back as she sprawled out on the floor in front of me and kicked her in the face. The second one was on top of me with a bottle. I took the first blow on my upraised arm. Before she could hit me again, Fatima caught her behind the head with a chair. After that, I could take my time. While Fatima kept one girl busy, I stomped the other in the face till her nose broke and most of her teeth were stomped out. When I finished with her, I turned and pried the bottle loose from the one Fatima was tussling with. Breaking the bottle, I bent down and pinned the second whore to the floor with my knees. With the knowledge of what they had done to me and Jessie burning in my breast, I took the jagged edge of the bottle and cut up her face. Fatima turned as pale as death when the blood flowed. She twisted her head away and started to puke. I didn't give her time. Grabbing her arm, I hustled her out the door. Before we had crossed the street, a police car squealed to a halt. When they rushed into the restaurant, I led Fatima through a gangway that ran directly to an alley. We cut across alleys and between houses until we wound up in my backyard. Dropping her hand, I led the way up the stairs. She followed me into the house like a well-trained French poodle. Just about out of breath, I sat down in a chair in the front room. I caught her staring at me with a look of horror on her face, mixed with something like admiration. Betty, the young girl I'd paid to watch Jessie, stood in the bedroom door smiling. She was a tall, thin girl with big eyes, and so knock-kneed you could pick her out in a crowd. "How is Jessie doing?" I asked quietly. "She fell asleep just before you came in, Whoreson. But your mother is so sick," she answered. Fatima spoke suddenly. "You ain't afraid somebody might bring the police, Whoreson?" I hadn't given the problem any thought. Now that she had brought it to my attention, I realized that it wouldn't take long for some informer to lead the police to my house. I had enough game about myself not to allow my woman to see me undecided. Since I really didn't know what to do, I decided to play strong. Pimping was a 24-hour job, but I meant to pimp 25. "Bitch, turn that wall loose and get in the bedroom and find you a house coat. I want to hear your bathwater running in 3 minutes, plus have a sweet-smelling whore in 5. She moved like she'd been shot out of a cannon. When she came out of Jessie's room with the house coat, she was running so fast that before I could point out the bathroom, she had run into another bedroom. Before I could call her a bunch of dumb bitches, she had found the bathroom, and the sound of running water could be heard. Betty stared at me in wonder. "You always said you was gonna pimp, didn't you, Whoreson?" Our eyes met. She was looking at me in a peculiar manner. "Ain't your mother gonna worry about you, Betty, if you ain't home?" She laughed harshly. "Shit, Whoreson, my mama done got drunk off that $5 and went to bed with some man somewhere. Besides, it don't make her no difference if I don't never get home. That's one less mouth for her to feed." "You mean your mama won't say nothing if I pay you to stay here and take care of Jessie?" I asked quickly. She replied bitterly, "My mother wouldn't say anything if I moved in here with you, Whoreson, except to warn me not to bring no babies back, expecting her to take care of them." There was a strange light in Betty's eye that I couldn't make out. "You wouldn't mind sleeping on the couch, would you?" I asked. She wet her lips with her tongue. Betty was staring at me the way a hungry dog watches a bone. It made me uncomfortable. There was something inflexible about her look, causing me more discomfort than I'd ever felt from a woman's stare. It seemed like an eternity before Fatima finished her bath. When she came out, I had her stretched out on the couch. Just to have something to do, I massaged her back, legs, and shoulders. She purred like a large cat under my hands and my gentle kisses on certain parts of her body. We were interrupted by heavy footsteps on the stairway. I snatched Fatima up from the couch, and we ran in the bedroom. Someone began pounding loudly on the door. With a warning to Betty that she hadn't seen us, I closed the bedroom door. Leaning against it, I took Fatima in my arms and held her close. I could feel her trembling from head to foot. Big Mama's familiar voice relieved some of the tension. Whoreson, damn you, boy, get out here! Opening the door slightly, I peeped out. Big Mama was standing in the middle of the floor with her hands on her mammoth hips. "Move, boy, damn it!" she roared. "You ain't got too much time." Fatima and I entered the room like two frightened chickens. Big Mama glared at me with eyes blazing.